Hi there guys, it's Jabo here, and today I am going to commentate over my world record speedrun of Fallout 3. I did achieve this run on January the 23rd, which was 2 days ago today, and basically what I'm going to do is commentate over the run itself, what happened, where the time loss is, and basically how we got to this point of eventually getting the world record that I actually never thought I would get in Fallout 3. So I've been running Fallout 3 for around about 2 years now, mostly the longer categories because I believe them to be more fun and a lot more consistent, but I have learned and ran any percent quite a lot, probably totaling around about 1,000 to 2,000 attempts in the category. Around about the start of January, I decided to actually run any percent again on and off during streaming. And over the course of the last week, I had a good feeling about myself, getting better and better at the game, and slowly my summer best was getting really good to the point where I thought if I just got one good run, I would probably snag second place by a good margin, because the gap between first place and second place was actually 4 seconds long, which in a category like any percent is quite a huge margin. So I kind of wanted to slip into second place. I never had the intent to actually get the world record, but obviously, as you can tell by this video, I somehow magically managed to get it in what would probably be the best run I'll ever get. There is about 6 to 7 seconds of flat time loss in this run. I will explain that as we go through the run. So right off the bat here, we're just going to go up to Dad and we're going to talk to him. When the screen fades to black like that, that is a quick save, quick load. And what we're doing is we're just quick saving, quick loading to either skip dialogue or to clip through items. That is how we clip out of bounds in this game. Straight away after this, we're going to go to the special book, and we're just going to put 10 points in strength. Our special stats, our perks, and normal stats don't matter in this run. We're just going to run straight to the end of the game, pretty much. I will explain the route when I get to the first running section, but until then, I'm going to explain the Vault 101 section. So here we grab a Nuka-Cola truck. And what we're doing is we're pushing Dad into the next dialogue box, which saves around 5 seconds. So that trick there is actually a bit difficult. We let Dad walk on top of the Nuka-Cola truck, we pick him up, and then we push him along as he's talking, and it skips the gap between the two sets of dialogue he goes through. Now we're clipping straight through the birthday room at the age of 10, and what I'm doing right here is called stop hops. Now, stop hops work by standing still and then flicking your mouse to the left and then pushing forward and jumping at around about the same time. It's a very peculiar trick, but you just have to get the timing down, and it's basically faster than walking. But what we're doing right now is we're skipping some dialogue, and then we shoot Jonas here, which saves around about 5 seconds, I believe. And what it does is it skips the conversation that Jonas and Dad are supposed to have outside of this room. We then shoot these 3 targets, and then we shoot the Rad Roach. If you shoot the Rad Roach in a critical spot, i.e. its belly, legs, or head, I believe it's his belly, but definitely legs and head, you will do twice as much damage and you will one-shot the Rad Roach. Now we're pushing Dad to the next step, where we progress through the game again, we quick save, quick load another set of dialogue, and now we're 16 years old. At the age of 16, we get given the adult body, which is basically the best speed we can get. We no longer have to go through any more screens or loading screens or age developments. We just clip straight out of bounds and we start doing the run. So straight off the bat here, I'm going to do some more stop hops. Like I said, getting through this section, stop hopping through the entire vault section does save a huge chunk of time. If anything, that is probably the biggest time save that's been found recently. We get through this section, we clip back, and right there is a COC point. So COC points are essentially, if you go out of bounds, the game has reset points. These reset points put you at a preset location, and then in a lot of these areas, the preset location is usually around about the exit or where we want to go. So we'll clip out of bounds, and then we'll get into the COC point, and it'll progress us through the area. So what we're doing right here is a glitch called Speed Cripple. This is one of the most notorious Fallout 3 glitches. Usually, when you see someone do Speed Cripple, it is with a missile, at least in the longer categories. But in any percent, it is faster to go through the cliff. What we're doing is we're breaking our legs, essentially. We're getting cripple speed, which is 60% normal movement speed, while reloading the game and tricking the game to give us 100% movement speed at the same time. So when we reload the game, there's about a 3 to 5 frame window where the game doesn't preset us a speed, and it's basically has to update and give us cripple speed. If we reload the game during that 3 to 5 frame window, the game will give us both cripple and normal movement speed, but it's a very tight gap. And when you're doing cliff cripple, the biggest problem you run into is that you are dying at the same time. So you have to reload the game before you die, because if you don't do it perfectly, you'll die and you'll lose time. So now I'm going to explain the route that we take during this run. So to activate the end game sequence of this game, to be able to put in the 216 code in front of Colonel Autumn and end the game, you have to start the American Dream quest. Now to start this quest, all you have to do is grab the Gek and get transported to Raven Rock, which happens no matter how way you grab the Gek. Usually for most casual players or for glitchless runs, you can't get through Little Lamplight until you do the Tranquility Lane quest, which is used to get the Waters of Life quest. But because this is any percent, we obviously do the fastest route, which is going straight to Little Lamplight and clipping through to Vault 87 and grabbing the Gek. Now, you probably noticed I am not going to Little Lamplight right now and not going to Vault 87. What I'm doing is I'm discovering the Citadel to fast travel to later when we finish Raven Rock and we get the American Dream quest. So we're discovering the Citadel, and then we're going to fast travel to Vault 101 and start making our way to Little Lamplight. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's great that you get to Little Lamplight, but how do you get to Vault 87? Well, we're going to do a pretty neat trick when we get there that involves us clipping out of bounds and swimming through to Vault 87. There is a lot of glitches in any percent, and the reason why the category itself is so refined is because there's been a lot of runners who have found a lot of tricks over the last couple of years. The any percent category has been very active until recently, which it kind of fell off in activeness. I don't understand why, but I think it probably has to do with runners recently picking up the longer categories, probably due to them feeling that it's more consistent. The problem with running any percent for this game, if there is a problem with it, is because it's very inconsistent. Getting speed cripple, in order to get a world record or a top 3 time, you have to get speed cripple within the first 2 to 3 attempts. That's very inconsistent, and it's not going to happen a lot. It really depends on your CPU usage and your PC hardware. It's a very weird trick to define because for some people, they can just get it instantly. Their PC will be perfectly set to the point where they can get it probably 1 every 5 to 10 attempts. I was one of those people that when I started running this game, it was once every 50 to 100 attempts, and it was really, really bad, and I just didn't run this category until I switched to GPU streaming through OBS, because I realized when I did runs offline that I got speed cripple or cliff cripple, as we call it cliff cripple because it's speed cripple from the cliff. I used to get cliff cripple really consistently when I wasn't streaming, and I recently switched from CPU streaming to GPU streaming because my CPU isn't actually that great. I have an i5-6600K. So when I noticed that I switched to GPU and I was doing 80% runs and I was getting speed cripple way more consistently, close to as consistent as I was getting it offline. So I decided to just run 80% again. And I feel like if you are planning on running 80%, or if you do plan on running, if you do run 80%, maybe switching from CPU to GPU streaming might help. I don't know. The setting system for this game is, with any percent, it's speed cripple is the core of the run, and to get your game to run so well that it just gives you speed cripple pretty much every time, you have to mess around with the settings. I feel like I've reached probably the pinnacle of settings that I can, which probably made me feel better about running this category, which is why I picked it up recently. Anyways, now that I've blabbed on for like the last 2 to 3 minutes, because I don't know if you noticed, that was a really boring walking section, and I kind of wanted to just fill the blank with something useless. Now we can start talking about Gek and Little Lamplight. So we're coming up to Little Lamplight here, which is a beautiful location. Not really. This first clip here is an absolute joke. You can probably put the same inputs in and you won't get this clip. But getting this clip first try is like a big relief. Now we're going to quick save, quick load out of bounds. We're going to quick save out of the playable area and quick load in the water. And what happens is the game thinks we're swimming while we're in the void, which lets us swim over to the exit of a little lamplight into Vault 87. Now, Vault 87 is a very, it's a very precise area. It has a lot of clips, and it has a lot of clips going on fast, so I will try to explain them as best as I can. The Murder Pass section is pretty simple though. We just walk through the super mutants. Murder Pass is the gap between Little Lamplight and Vault 87, and it really is pretty, yeah, it's you're just walking around. There is a skip you can do here, which is called the Miku barrel skip. It saves around half a second, but I wouldn't say it's worth it because I've lost runs to it. But if I do intend to beat my time, I probably will try and implement that into the run somehow. So now we're going through Murder Pass. I do fail this clip straight away, which is pretty bad. You're supposed to insta-clip through that door. That's like 0.1 seconds lost, I guess. No big deal. And then we're going to come up to probably the part of the run I hate the most, and that's missing rock skip. Now, this section here, the doorway that leaves is on top of this rock. And you can save a good chunk of time by jumping on this rock and activating that door. And I messed it up, which lost me like 2 to 3 seconds. So if I didn't mess that up, I probably would have had a 14:32. But anyways, we're clipping through more walls. We're going to get on top of the entire building structure, as you can see. And that lets us exit the door to the next area. And now we are going to clip instantly out of bounds. And we're going to go touch the fire alarm. Now, why we're touching the fire alarm is to simply get the quest to grab the Gek. Because if we don't have this quest, we can't grab the Gek. Now, the Finding the Garden of Eden quest, usually players would use forks to grab the Gek, which is the standard way of playing through this game. Either that or with a radiation suit, but we don't do that. We do a very cool trick. Basically, what we're going to do is we're just going to clip into the room, and we're going to use third-person interaction glitch, which is using third person and tilting our character around, and we're going to pick up the Gek through the wall of the Gek container. Then we clip out of bounds. Probably a sloppy clip out of bounds there. Could have done that a bit better as well. Could have saved like a second. And then we get this grenade dropped on us, and we get transported to Raven Rock. At this point, I'm looking at the time. The best possible time is 14:33, and I'm thinking to myself, hey, with a good Raven Rock and a good ending, this could be a good time. But something happens in Raven Rock which really put me off balance. Because it doesn't really happen often, and it just happened to take place during a run that was on world record pace. This was not the best pace run I had this day. I did have a run that was on pace to 14:32, but I did fail a couple of clips in Raven Rock and lost that run. I was actually pretty tilted about that. I think that happened about 3 to 4 runs before this, actually. But this was a run that had me, until this point, I was not fussed. And then as soon as I had a good Gek, I was shaking. So now we're talking to Colonel Autumn, this lovely guy. We're just going to tell him to fuck off, because we don't want to talk to him. He leaves. I wait until the President says Colonel, and then I quick save, quick load to skip that dialogue, so he leaves the room instantly. And then as soon as he leaves, we skip through this dialogue. We count to 2 seconds in between each one. It is about 1.5 seconds realistically, but it's 2 seconds in my brain. And then we clip out of bounds. Again, CLC point. We get reset into the dining room area, and then we progress through Raven Rock. We're just, like I said, getting through this section as fast as we can. It's a very simple section. There's 2 difficult clips in Raven Rock that aren't really difficult, they're just very easy to mess up. If you haven't noticed yet, the clipping system in Fallout 3 is consistent, but it can mess you up sometimes. This clip here is probably the hardest clip to learn as a new runner. That is what we call the presidential door skip, and you have to clip to the left and then clip to the right. It's a very difficult trick for new runners, but I think with a good practice amount, you actually get that clip pretty consistently. Right now, we're going to talk to President Eden. Yes, this is President Eden. Spoilers alert. We're going to go through his dialogue, and as soon as we get the I'll give it some thought, we leave. And then I'm going to grab the FUV, and we're just going to leave this area. And then there's a clip here which I did fail again. Like I said, there was some sloppy areas, about another half a second lost there, but then I managed to get it second try, which is good. To get that clip out backwards first try is pretty difficult. It takes some weird timing, and here you're going to see the most difficult part of the run to watch back, and that is that they closed the fucking door on me out the end of Raven Rock. That is 2 seconds lost for literally no reason other than that one soldier leaving the room early. My god, I was annoyed. I quote-unquote say here, as I got my hand against my face, if I lose world record over that guy, I'm actually going to be fuming. I said it a bit more aggressive than that, but I wasn't too happy. Because at this point, I could world record by 1 second, looking at my best possible time, but I somehow managed to get probably the best ending I probably could get. Even then, it wasn't perfect, but it was a good ending. So we fast traveled to Citadel, which we discovered at the beginning of the run, and we're going to just walk over to the Jefferson Memorial, and we're going to fast travel in. We're not supposed to end the game yet. We're supposed to talk to Sentinel Lions and all of the members over inside of the Citadel. But if we clip into the Jefferson Memorial, we can enter the code and end the game, because the game isn't really coded that well when it comes to the American Dream Quest. So we get into the Jefferson Rotunda, and then we're going to just go around here and clip in. I get the perfect clip, and we talk to Colonel and we tell him we're going to fight him, and then we press 216 and enter, and there we go. That is Fallout 3 any% world record complete in 14 minutes and 35 seconds. This record can easily be beaten with a lot of practice. I believe a good time can be about 14:30, but it's going to take someone with the patience of a god, because running this game, especially any%, is quite a difficult task. The whole speed cripple side, you spend so long waiting to get speed cripple to then get messed over by one of the easiest clips in the run that loses you like 3 to 4 seconds, 5 to 6 seconds. So there was around about 6 seconds of very flat basic time loss, which is pretty common in Fallout 3 any%. But other than that, that run was pretty goddamn good. Thank you guys for watching. I've been ItsJabo. I hope this commentary wasn't too out of place. I just wanted to commentate the world record, seeing as this is probably the best world record I'll ever get. It is definitely the highlight of my speedrunning career so far, and I look forward to doing more runs. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed.
Oh, Miss Effie was her name, through the West she won her fame, being handy with a gun, but she drove the men insane, 'cause she'd whip out her pistol and shoot most any guy, then sing out this